Morning.
Hey Brian, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Happy Friday.
Yeah,
Good morning,
it's
Brian.
actually a holiday for me. My campus is closed today, so it's technically a holiday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's my alma mater. I don't know if
Oh, is
you
it?
knew that. It's,
I didn't know that.
it's,
Very cool. All right.
yeah.
Changed a lot over the years. Just in the almost 11 years that I've been there, it's changed a lot. But man, over the last 20, it's the growth and change has been staggering.
Yes. I know Irvine has grown overall.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, Girish,
Morning.
and
Good morning.
everyone.
We'll just give it another minute before we start. Can you all see my screen for the DBI Western Pacific
Yes.
region? Okay,
Yes.
excellent.
Hey, Vincent, I was going to reach out to you regarding the owners forum
Yeah.
for the conference. Would you be up for co-moderating the
Oh,
owners forum
absolutely.
with me?
Absolutely. Yeah. I
Great,
just need to
great.
work in my schedule and if I could, I would even like to bring staff member who may or may not be a DBIA member right now, but I
Great.
really wanted her to be active in DBIA because she hopefully has a little bit more time than me.
Yeah, no, that'd
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah.
I was thinking of, you and Monica and I, and since Monica and I come from the same sector, it probably made sense for you and I to tag team the moderation of the owners forum, and we'll focus on owner advisors and also on collaboration because that will link well with some of the broader themes of the conference. So
Yeah. I'd love to do that.
okay.
And I really also, like I said, want to bring staff member along so that, I think if I look at my own situation was that the previous folks who connected with DBIA, they were just doing it by themselves. And so
Mhm.
there's not much of a continuity. I think we also need to think about the continuity succession, so to speak,
Yeah.
to continue the efforts. Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah. So I'll reach out to you so we can talk further about
Please.
it, but just wanted to
Yeah.
plant the seed. I'm thrilled that you're willing to participate. So
Oh,
thank you.
absolutely. Yeah.
Excellent.
Same.
All right.
Thank you, Vince.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you
Good
for
morning.
participating in our Design Build Institute of America Western Pacific Region New Board Chapter uh, and Chapter Chair Orientation call. My name is Girish Kaplani. I'm the VP this year, and I'm excited to make this presentation with a few of my colleagues here. So I'm going to go through the agenda. What we're going to do is talk a little bit about just provide a general overview of the organization, vision, strategic goals, the bylaws, strategic initiatives that Samin has this year, some of the chapter chair duties, and then I'll have James talk a little bit about the finances. And then what I'm really excited about is that each of the chapter chairs will provide a slide or two, just a couple of minutes about their vision and strategy for each of their chapters. And then we'll go through and talk a little bit about the Owners Council. We have Brian Pratt, who's recently joined the board. And then Gloria will talk a little bit about memberships, program committees, and some of the resources we have in our organization. We have a lot of slides to cover, so I'm going to go really quick through this. And if there are any questions, we could answer those questions at the end of the presentation. But if I'm not able to get to your questions, then we could have a one-on-one separately, and I'll provide my information later for that. So let's get started with the general overview. The purpose of this presentation today is First of all, I wanted to welcome the new chapter chairs and the new board members to this organization. We really appreciate everything you're doing for the industry, and again, welcome to the team. The purpose of this is to reinforce your role as a board member and to ensure your understanding of DBIA's mission, purpose, and strategic direction, and also to gain additional insight into the operations, which we'll be sharing today through our presentation. But the most important thing here is to encourage dialogue, share information, and explore opportunities. This is the list of the executive board for 2025. We have Samin Naseh, who's the president this year. And then we have Betty Lynn Sinnis, who's the outgoing president. And then, as I mentioned, Brian Pratt has joined us as the Owners Council chair. This is our org chart for the organization. As you can see here, we've got the executive council on top. We've got the voting board members here in the box on the left, and the non-voting members here in the box on the right. We've got our initiative and committee leaders here, and then we've got our 7 chapter chairs listed down here. This org chart is available on our Google Drive. And accessible to all. So, and if you don't have access to our Google Drive, please email Gloria. She could give you access to this information. Just quick on DBIA's mission and vision and values. DBIA promotes design, build, project delivery, and teaches the effective integration of design and construction services, most importantly, to ensure success for owners and construction practitioners. And our vision is to be the industry's preeminent resource for leadership education, objective expertise, and best practices. And then some of the values here that are listed, or all the values that are listed here, we've used in our strategic initiatives, which I'll be going over in the next few slides. So DBIA has set 4 strategic goals for the next 3 years. First one is to shape the future of collaboration, raise the bar, set the standard, reinvent learning, and reimagine membership. These are these were kind of identified in several strategic meetings that were helped on the national that were worked on the national level, and these are also included on the DBIA website as a resource if we need to get into the details of this information. Wanted to touch a little bit about the Western Pacific region bylaws. This is a good resource for all of us as part of the board, where we could look at all the different things in terms of our legal structure, objectives, membership, and so on. But all this is available also on the Google Drive. And I encourage every one of us, if we've already read it, that's great. If we haven't, encourage all of us to read it or read it again. It's a great resource to understand our responsibilities. Going through the board composition, we've got up to 25 voting member seats on the board. Currently, we have 24 board members. The advisory board serves in the same manner, which is they don't have voting rights. And then the chapter chairs, all chapter chairs are part of the advisory board with no voting rights. And I'm going to skip some of these down the line. We've got the voting and advisory members are nominated by board development and board nomination committees led by Marianne, and they're elected to the Western Pacific region membership. And in one given year, this is important, no more than one voting member can be from the same company. Regarding chapter chairs, again, each chapter chair needs to be recommended by a nominating committee approved by the board, and they become a member of the advisory board. Each chapter chair needs to carry out their objectives and purposes of the chapter. They become a liaison between the regional leadership and regional members. And then going down the line, there are quarterly VP chapter summits with committee chairs, so that I'll be chairing every quarter. And then this is an important part to communicating with chapter chairs about the information, and it's important for them to communicate with us as well. That is with me and with Gloria Moore, who's the executive director. The chapter steering committee charter, this is an important document. I recognize that some chapters have it and some don't. And I wanted to bring this up this year because I wanted to, and I will be talking to each of the chapter chairs about this and how we can develop a charter for each of your chapters. As I mentioned, some don't have it. So this is encouraged. It's not that we have to have it, but if there's time, it would be great for every chapter to have a charter. And I think we've kind of gotten a head start to that because we've kind of had you prepare slides that you're going to present today for your vision, your strategy. So I think that's the beginning of this. General expectations of chapter chairs is just to understand and support DBI's mission, to set aside biases and make organizational decisions. And then we've got 6 board meetings this year that Samin will chair. And we've got 4 quarterly VP summits and committee chairs that I will chair. And then every year there's an annual meeting and a strategic planning session in December that we encourage everyone to attend. And quickly, I'm going to go through this. There's a lot of slides, so apologize if I'm moving really fast through this. Strategic initiative. So every year, the incoming president of the board has certain initiatives that they want to accomplish for the year. Some of these initiatives can be taken from previous years, or some can be developed new. So this year, we've got 4 initiatives that Samin has led. The first one is mutual prosperity and value of integrated services. The idea here is to expand the understanding and benefits of alternate delivery. And we want to also encourage support of qualitative QBS, which is qualification-based selection. And so what we're doing here is we're preparing a listening tour to go out to clients to understand what they really want, what are the challenges they're facing. So we're really excited about this because there's going to be a lot of data we're going to collect out of this and maybe use it as we move forward into future years. The owner advisor engagement, which is the second initiative, we've got this for owner advisor education for alternate delivery methods to provide consistent delivery methods utilizing DBIA best practices. Here we're thinking about connecting with other organizations like CMAA to share some of the tools and available templates so we could be more consistent within the industry. Then we also have a listening tour as an initiative where we are going to develop a survey where we go out and talk to multiple clients as to what their challenges, what are the best practices and what are the different things we can learn out of them, or what do we need to focus on in the future. So this is something I'm really excited about. And this is also another one that I can provide more detail if we need to after the call. And then finally, the last one is to reinvigorate owner engagement. This is also very important for our organization. Over the years, we've had a lot of owners that are part of our organization, but we need to grow this group. And so we want to attract and engage more owners because they drive our industry. And so this is something that Samin is leading for us, and we're really excited about it. With that, I'm going to ask James to talk a little bit about our finances for WPR.
Thanks, Girish. If you went to the annual meeting, you saw this already, but for those of you that weren't there, little recap of where our income comes for the region. And you can see on the left, I have it by area or by chapter or activity, like the conference, is a big piece of the income for our budget every year. But then each chapter has their piece of the pie. And then one thing to point out is the membership dues is a very small sliver of what our annual income consists of. So if people ask, so, well, isn't it expensive to join DBIA? And no, most of our expense, our income comes from other things, our activities, our scholarship raising activities, and so forth. And then you go on the right, you can see the actual activities we get them from: events, sponsorships, golf, conference, and then again, you see the dues as a small percentage. You can go next, Girish. Oh, look, we highlighted the dues.
Sorry.
You're going to see this at the next board meeting. I've recently updated the dashboard report for our board financial reports. You're going to see this in each one. It shows the region budget to date on the top left, the chapter and conference income to date on the top right, which so you kind of see where you're at based on the data we have, the money we have coming into the bookkeeper. And then you'll see in the middle section, we have two separate accounts. We have a cash account, which we run our daily operations out of. And then about 14 months ago, we started investing some of the cash we weren't using. And for safety's sake, from being able to not have all of our money at one financial institution, we started investing some of our funds outside of Wells Fargo, and we now have investments at Chase Bank and at JP Morgan Investments. So you're going to start seeing that report of what we have. So between the two, right, between the cash account on hand and the investment, we have approximately, last month, I think we had something $750,000 available to us, which is really, really healthy for a nonprofit. I can say a lot of our other regions don't have enough cash to go for a whole year. We actually have almost 2.5 years worth of cash to operate. So it's a very healthy financial position. Doesn't mean we can't take our foot off the gas. It's just that, we are able to fulfill our obligations for student scholarships, and we're actually bringing in more student chapters this year. I think we have a half dozen new student chapters for 2025 that are coming online. That's awesome. So anyway, you can ask me questions about the cash and investments if you want. And then at the bottom, we do track accounts receivable, and in your report each month, you'll see like who those people are. So if you know somebody at that firm, or it is your firm, you can just follow up and make sure that the check has followed the obligations to the bookkeeper. So we do appreciate that follow up. But you'll see this every month, and behind it will be an entire budget line item report of what we approved in December versus where we're at today, and then what the forecast is. And then if you're a chapter chair, please look at your specific chapter. You forecasted last fall what you're going to have for income and expenses at various categories. Just kind of keep track of those, and hopefully report back to me if it's going to be different. And if I'm not available, you can report back to Gloria if it's going to be any different, higher or lower, so we can make adjustments for the entire region. Any questions on the financial?
For those updates, James, is it just whenever we know, or is it kind of like, hey, once a month, or?
Well, so you get the report, you'll get it 6 or 7 times this year. But I highly encourage that you let us know. Like Tom, if you think we're going to miss on the golf or we're going to be way over on golf, right? Is materially different, right? Please let us know because that does affect other decisions.
Okay.
It's not if we miss a little bit on an event and we make more on a little bit more on another event. That's not material. It's more if we're making big swings one way or the other.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, James.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. So this is the part I'm excited about, where we've got our chapter chairs presenting their vision and their strategy for each of their chapters. I'm not sure if all the chapter chairs are here today. I'm hoping, but if they're not, then Gloria is going to cover the chapter where the chapter chair is not here, for the chapter that's not here. So the first chapter is Hawaii. Mariano, are you on the call? Sorry, I haven't checked who's on the call.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mariano.
For the Hawaii chapter, our vision here is basically to increase participation and attendance, and then to allow for improved offerings in education support and events. Trying to focus on owners because we know that they determine the types of projects that happen out here. Then next slide. And then our challenges out here in Hawaii. DBIA projects are limited. Design bid build is still the popular choice in Hawaii. There are a low number of DBIA accredited professionals, or at least compared to the other states. And then we have some geographic challenges and high costs for professionals to attend DBI events. And then chapter leadership is still developing, and we're still looking for more key personnel out here in our chapter. And then just overall chapter involvement needs some improvement. And then the last slide. So our strategy, like I mentioned earlier, is to increase our owner education opportunities to allow for owners to see the benefit of using design build projects. Increase member education opportunities to allow for the members to see the benefit in being a member. And then fill the Hawaii chapter leadership roles with key professionals that can help plan events and education opportunities. And then just overall increase membership in Hawaii.
Thank you, Mariano.
Yeah.
Okay, the next chapter is the Arizona chapter. Mike, are you on the call?
I am. And I think a few of the things, you're going to see some common themes, it sounds like, about membership and what those things are. But just really what I took the vision for the chapter is very much aligned with the national and regional vision of what we're trying to accomplish specifically for the state of Arizona, as we have both vertical and horizontal design build projects going on. So go to the next slide. So took a little challenge and strategy piece here of, if you look at our chapter leadership, we have a pretty high concentration of contractors and architects. We're looking to really get that more diverse and have more engineers and trade partners join the group on the chapter leadership side. We do have the benefit of having one owner that's very active, but we're trying to really increase that. So the strategy for that is really, we're being very intentional about going and looking for members from key entities to come and bring those perspectives to the chapter leadership. The second challenge is our young professional participation. It's really been a challenge for us to get our young professional group going. And it's been very sporadic. One time we'll have a good sized group, and then the next meeting we'll have very few. So I think what we are going to do is take a little bit of a different approach and have our chapter leadership really enlist young professionals from their particular organizations and get them involved, and take more of the encouraging them rather than asking at this point. And then the last slide, so our last challenge really is progressive design build across our private and public owners in Arizona. I think there continues to be a misunderstanding of how to define progressive design build. So we're actually, our luncheon next week is going to have a focus on what progressive design build is versus what it is not, to try to bring some clarity to that for both our private and public owners. And then we're also having a continued education and use of case studies to help reinforce that. And I think we do have an owners council. So on a smaller scale, the owner that represents on the steering committee actually is chairing an owners council for Arizona, which we on average are having 6 to 7 owners show up for and looking to continue to expand that. But it's really provided some good feedback of what's in the way for owners to be involved in design build delivery.
Thank you, Mike. All right, the next chapter is Sacramento. Arun?
Good morning, everyone. Mike, we have a very robust young professionals group here in Sacramento. So I'm happy to get your lead and our lead connected. They're very active. They've been very successful at what they do. And we do have a good owners council as well. We actually had a panel discussion yesterday with owners, and one of our chapter owners committee chair, her challenge to us professionals was to encourage more owners to get in touch with her rather than leave it to the owners to join the council. So good piece of advice for all of us to encourage more owners. In terms of Sacramento, Girish, we do have a chapter charter that we put together, I think, a couple of years ago now. So we are a pretty established chapter. So some of the goals you'll see are based on the challenges that we have encountered in the past few years. One was just creating more enhanced communication with our membership here in the Valley. So we did put together a LinkedIn page this year, and we're getting more and more people signing up, and we've had people from other parts of the country as well try and join the group as well. In terms of just coordinating our programs, we have had issues where we have had conflicts with other industry organizations like CMA. So we've been very intentional about coordinating our programs, especially the dates, right at the get-go, at the beginning of the year, so there are no conflicts and we don't have to make any changes. And last year, we were very intentional in working with Gloria and James to understand really what our guidelines are, what the laws are around insurance and alcohol serving. And we got a great venue that we've signed up for 3 events this year. And we started with a happy hour yesterday, and it was sold out, standing room only. Capacity was 150. It was our biggest show to date. What we had 170 squeeze in. And a couple of the board members were, Marianne and Jim were there. So thank you for joining. That's always good to see board members there. In terms of our steering committee, we're trying to get together more often, get to understand each other better, and make sure we are following the mission and the vision of DBIA. And James knows this. We had some challenges hitting our target last year in terms of the budget. So we are being very particular and monitoring it. So James, everything is trending up this year. So fingers crossed, we'll hit everything. Challenges I put down last year, a few of us went down to Dallas because National had put together a leadership conference or summit. And some of the outcomes of the next steps for DBIA, National, was flow down of information. And Gloria, you can correct me here, but and Betty Lynn, one of the things that National had said was they would publish, I think, a quarterly newsletter. I saw one come through on what's happening at the national level that would get transmitted down to the WPR regions and the chapters. I've seen only one come through. And then they were going to create some sort of somebody came off mute.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I just want to tell you that that monthly newsletter is going through. It just might be that you're not on the list. So we just need to be sure we get you on the list.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
See me or Samin, or we'll do that for sure. Okay, that's all.
As well, we will report on it at the board meetings. Anything that is coming out of the regional leaders meeting or the HQ newsletters and so on.
Sounds good. Those newsletters, Simon, were really good. That'd be easy for us as chapter chase to just send it to our steering committee. So pass
Gloria
pass
will
information
distribute
down.
that to everyone. Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
And now that we've interrupted Arun, I just want to pile on and say what a fantastic event that was.
It was great to see such an active, engaged, and connected community yesterday evening with, some really great messaging by the panel. So thank you for organizing to your whole team, because it was clear they're a well-oiled chapter.
Thank you. One of the, I'll just share this. One of the panel members, who's an owner here, mentioned that they just started their first progressive design build project. They were suggesting that for new adopters of design build, it'll be good for DBIA to have some sort of training for the legal procurement professionals in person, in particular, so that they understand the nuances rather than leaving it to the owners' PMs to explain. So I reached out to DBIA National, and they did say there was a particular program. So in case you're talking to new adopters like Mike, you are in Arizona, I'll send you that information so you can pass it on.
Excellent. Thank you, Arun.
Yep.
All right. So, Tom?
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, so as far as vision for the Bay Area chapter, I think very similar to everyone else is, continuing to align with both the region and national messages, right? And align on that education. As far as which concepts we're putting forward, and trying to focus more on not just offerings, and not just future projects that are coming out, but just education or DBIA and design build in general. Also really working towards trying to get a chapter sustainability. When I say that, love to get that steering committee document from you, Girish, as far as still have not set up a steering committee here in the Bay Area, right? And gotten good interest, but then it's just how do we direct those people and use people most effectively to overall grow the chapter, right? And I think, Samin, you've asked, and I've been here in the chapter chair president here for I think 2 years now, and looking for a way to continue to support in the chapter, but bring more people into, either like a vice president role or bring somebody else into the chapter chair role. The people who I've talked to, so it's no one else has had a strong desire yet. So it's also just identifying potential candidates for that, and keeping that momentum going. And not only just with myself, but other, committees too. I think we've gotten good committee traction, with the programs committee, but then it's, the challenge is really just how do we bring people into the fold, educate them, and get them into leadership roles. So the next slide, as far as, strategy for that, kind of talked to that, as far as I think the Bay Area chapter has been, we have been just trying to improve. We did get the YP group restarted this year. So it's great to hear that, I think they would do well with support from other peers. So, right, if Arizona and Sacramento and others are, connecting their YP chairs, it'd be great to connect some of the Bay Area people with that as well. And then this is also the first year that we've done an annual sponsorship. So I think that is, finding some good success here in the Bay Area. So we're appreciate all the support, and pulling ourselves along with the other chapters for these more modern approaches. So yeah.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah. All right. Bailey, welcome to the team.
Thank you. Yeah, so our Nevada chapter, really our biggest goal is to just start to engage the community. I think for the past several years, our main and only event in Nevada has been our golf tournament, which has been super successful. But we really want to engage the community in educational events. So we're gonna reinvigorate our lunch and learn program that we had going a few years back. And I think we have a targeted date for our Henderson Hospital panel. They had a successful design build project at Henderson Hospital, and we'll have a panel and start advertising for that event at our golf tournament is the goal. And then our target for this year is just to host quarterly lunch and learns and start there. We also have the challenge of filling out our committee. We do have a pretty good set of diverse people currently engaged, and we've also added an advisory board to our committee as well to help engage some of the general contractors and architects with a lot of leverage with the owners. And as we start to gain a little bit more traction and participation amongst the industry in Nevada, our hope is to strengthen the owner engagement and the education of the owners, as we aren't seeing much of any progressive design build out here, and definitely see an opportunity for some education on design build done right. So expanding the outreach to public entities and that sort of thing, and then potentially reviewing the legislation in Nevada to see if there are opportunities to help define for the owners the best practices within the design build world, similar to what they did in California. So that's really our goals for Nevada and our hopes for the chapter this year.
Yeah, thank you, Bailey. That's great. All right, I know Catherine's not on the call, so Gloria, do you want to do LAOC?
Sure. Hi, all. In Catherine's absence, she did send us our slides. So LA's vision is to elevate connections, foster collaboration, and organizations with strengthening relationships. Next slide. And the challenges for LA is accurate here. She posts in the bulletin that the distance between LA and OC is quite big because of the traffic. So that is a challenge, and they are trying to reach both areas. So they have a big task at hand. I'm not going to go through all of these strategies, but screenshot it if you want it right now. They want to recharge committees, engage with other industry organizations, and owner advisory connections with education. So Brian, I don't know if you want to reach out to Catherine regarding owner and owner advisor connections, and a mix of development, business development focused, and practitioner education. National has a lot of great courses and webinars that they can join. So we'll work with her on that. Next slide.
Oh,
San Diego.
That was San Diego.
I think, I don't know that Matt's on. Is Matt on? Okay, so San Diego, they're been very active with their luncheons. They max capacity their events at like 200 for the luncheon. They are looking at a new venue right now that can hold more, because we have to turn people away, which we don't like to do. Their goal is community college and K-14 engagement. They built a roundtable in 2024, so they're going to work on that. And they project sponsor spotlights for social media. And they also, at their luncheons, have dedicated presenters or openers regarding their sponsor chapter program. So if they have 4 luncheons, all 4 of those will be assigned to a sponsor to get some extra recognition. And they are going to be a big support this year in Chula Vista for the conference. We've been working with them. They're on the committee and they're showing up. So we appreciate San Diego. Next.
Excellent. Thank you, Gloria. That was it. I want to actually get into Owners Council now. And maybe, Brian, I didn't want to put you on the spot, but this may be a good place for you to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your vision.
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm really excited to see, so much emphasis on owners and owner development among all the chapters. It's awesome. I think it's going to be a driver for us all for years to come. So I'm Brian Pratt. I'm the Associate Vice Chancellor and Campus Architect for Design and Construction Services at UC Irvine. So I'm responsible for all the large scale capital improvement projects at UC Irvine. We, for the last 20, 25 years, have delivered all of those large scale capital projects as design build. And most recently, our large hospital project is a progressive design build. We have a small project, a community center for one of our housing communities that is progressive design build as well. I think that it's important, as you all have said, that we grow the owner participation and definitely support the owners that are already participating. I think the opportunities there are to focus on some of the great resources that are already available through the DBIA that a lot of owners that approach us aren't even aware of. Design, build, done right, and the various boot camps and that kind of thing. Also, I want to, while we coordinate programs with other organizations, CMAA and COA, I also want to explore joint opportunities with some of those owner organizations to introduce design build to owners that might otherwise not have even an inkling of design build as a very collaborative delivery method. So I think balancing coordinating programs so we don't step on each other with opportunities to have some joint conversations, I think would be really interesting and valuable. But another, I think, emphasis is the importance of owners to become DBIA certified. I think a lot of owners don't realize that or seem to think that DBIA certification is for everybody else. But as an outward expression to industry, DBIA certified owner means a lot and will help those owners with participation on their campuses and getting the best teams to pursue work on for their organizations. So those are some of my thoughts. I'm, as you mentioned, I'm brand new to the board, trying to learn fast. But like I said, I'm really thrilled that owner engagement is such a priority for everyone here. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're thrilled to have you, Brian. Thank you and welcome to the board.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll have Gloria do these slides with membership and young professionals and continue on to others as well. Go ahead, Gloria.
Okay, thank you, Grish. I am going to breeze through these because we are already at 10:42. So the chapter memberships you can see on this graph. Go ahead and screenshot it. Looks like LA Orange County is at 446, but the Bay Area is right behind them. Next slide. And then here you can see membership by type. And also some of these membership numbers are going to be changing because National is right now in process of turning industry partner companies. Those people who have that membership, all of their employees now are going to be counted as a member. So these numbers are current at the moment, but I expect them to probably increase greatly in the next couple of weeks. Next slide. Yay! Also, if you want to see the membership graphs, you can look on the Google Drive. Jamie puts them up quite often, and after the board meetings, we share them as well. Am I doing this one, Girish?
Yeah.
Okay, so programs committee and quarterly calls. As Girish mentioned earlier, he will be doing 4 quarterly calls with the chapters committees. Any of your committee people are welcome to attend it. It's helpful. There's an open discussion, so you guys can share amongst yourselves as well. The programs committee organized the webinars, luncheons, breakfasts, mixers, golf tournaments. Those are all on the chapter side. And again, our intent is to educate the owners and practitioners, and the funds are all helping our student scholarships and also running the Western Pacific region. Next slide.
Okay, so Michelle Jones created, we used to have an event guide, and she kind of took that information and put it into a program's playbook to make it a little bit smaller and easier to access. It's also on the Google Drive, and all the chapters should have access to their drive on Google. If you don't, drop me an email and I will make sure you get linked in to your chapter folders. Next slide. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the resources. Again, on the Google Drive, you can screenshot that, but again, I can absolutely send you a link right from Google. And the Western Pacific resources for the chapters are key docs, bylaws, meeting minutes, forms for the events, check requests that you need to fill out and submit to Michelle McLay. But there's folders for each chapter, so feel free to get in there and look around. Next slide. Education. Patrick Brittle is our regional education chair, and he's not here today. But he works with the student chapters, programs, special programs, and he really runs the show for the scholarships and his jury. Next slide. Okay, so National has certification workshops. They're every month. You can attend in person or you can go on the virtual option, whatever you best learn from. I really highly recommend the in-person, but it's all personal preference. There's elective courses, there's company-based training. You'll need 10 people from your company. If you want to host a company-based training, you have to commit to National that you will bring 10 people from your organization, and they will go right on site and teach you in your own building. There's online learning, virtual learning, and hybrid learning. Next slide. And again, all this information is on National website as well. We just kind of try to condense it here for you. The newest thing is Collaborative Delivery Leadership Academy with Barbara Jackson. I believe those are all in person, but we already have some graduates. I know James took it, Betty Lynn, Catherine. So take a look at that if you want to do the Leadership Academy with National. Next slide. Conferences. Okay, our conference is at the Gaylord in August. That is the soonest we could get in. May, they're not going to be ready. They're still in construction, but we'll see you there in August. Sorry, for the annual conference, and we expect.
I skipped the slide, Gloria. I'm going to go back to this one. I apologize.
No worries. Okay, so the upcoming dates you can see. We're moving again.
It just keeps. I think it's doing
it's okay. I'll just talk to it.
Okay.
The annual conference at the Gaylord, and expect that to go live to sponsor list first next week, and then we'll open it up to the public. But Arizona has a luncheon next Friday. They have been doing great on their luncheons. If you can take a quick flight out, I'm sure Michael Gonzalez would be happy to see you there.
It keeps doing this. I'm sorry.
Okay, upcoming dates. That's okay. We're going to send you guys a slide deck so you can look at these. I pulled some, but this is nowhere near the amount that we have. I just couldn't fit them all on one page. So we have certification workshop in San Diego coming up. And go ahead and move to the next slide. Let's get past these ones that are glitching on here. Okay, National Conference. We just went to Maylord for their water, wastewater, aviation, and transportation. That is done. The Federal Design Build Symposium. Some years they don't do it, but they have done it for the past two. And the one that's coming up is slightly in conflict with our conference. But we did get National's approval to proceed with our dates. So if you want to go to that one, you'll probably need to miss our regional conference. And the Design Build Conference is in November, and we are going to be co-hosting the opening reception, and we're going to work with Bailey in Nevada to see what other events we might be able to drum up and put together for that. Everyone loves Vegas. Next slide. Okay, DBIA resources. If you go to the National website, you can see the bookstore, and when you go to the bookstore, you select what you want, and then they send it to you electronically. So it's really quick and easy to get those. Also, if you don't have something, you can reach out to me and I can pull it and send it to you. There's position statements, deeper dives, design build books. They don't have much swag, but I understand they're going to be adding it quite soon. But again, DBIA bookstore. Next slide. Okay, the industry match. That is where you can go to the national site, click on industry match, and it will, you can put in keywords, you can ask for a practitioner, if you want an architect, if you want a design builder. You just put these few little questions in and it'll populate a response for you, and you can look over all the people who fall into that category. They're DBIA certified, and it's just a quick place where you can go and find a partner if you need one. Next slide. Okay, these are all the communication channels with National, the DBI website. They give an Insight Weekly newsletter. They have podcasts. They have emails that, again, that list is growing. Before it was only being sent to the contacts on industry partners. Now it's going to go to everyone who logs in and signs up as a member through their company, if your company has industry partner membership level. And they have social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. If you go to the national website, you can find a multitude of different ways they communicate. Next slide. Open discussion. We made it, Garish.
I know. That was a record to get about 55 slides in 50 minutes done. So appreciate everybody who presented and got through these slides. But we wanted to open it up for any questions or comments.
Girish, I can start with one. In your opening slides, you had mentioned the voting member term was 1 to 3 years. Is that accurate? I thought it was more like 10 years.
Yeah, Marianne, did you want to talk a little bit about that? Or maybe Betty Lynn, if you have any more detail, or Samin?
What was the question? Sorry.
I can just tell you that I'm sorry for the background noise. There are 1-year terms and 3-year terms, and board members are permitted, and there are minor anomalies from this, but board members are permitted a maximum of 10 years. There are exceptions here and there for certain reasons, but generally new members are brought in general for a 1-year term, and then when their interest is really solidified, it may be renewed. We talk to all the board members every year to find out what their wishes and intentions are. And then, Samin, do you want to weigh in on any other comments on terms?
We also have the 1 year and 3 year, just so that we have some overlaps, that we don't have many board members exiting in the same year. So we are trying to make sure that there's good overlap and smooth transitions and so on.
And the bylaws do identify the percentage of 1 and 3 year terms. So while we historically had more long terms, we've brought that now into alignment with the bylaws. And there, like Betty Lynn mentioned, there was a transition period, but we are almost done with that transition period from the prior bylaws. So yep, there's good clarity in the current bylaws, and they're available for everyone to have a look at.
Thank you, Arun. Any other questions?
I just wanted to add that next. Oh, go ahead. Who's that? Okay.
Sorry.
Kansas City next week is the National Chapter Summit. They promised when we did one last year that they were going to have a follow-up, and it is next week. So if you are wanting to go to that and you haven't for some reason seen the email, Lisa Washington sent it out to all of the regions, all of the chapters, all the chapter chairs. But if you cannot locate that email, let me know and we will get you in. It's Kansas City next week. It's a 2-day event, and I know it's far, but it is a great opportunity to hear feedback from National. National wants our feedback, and it is open floor. Everyone has a chance to speak and add, and they roundtable us. Great experience. If you want to go and you didn't get a reminder about it, let me know. Go ahead, Samin.
I was going to ask the same thing. Are any of the chapter chairs attending the meeting? It is the same way that cross-pollination at our own region level is important. It's also important to have that same cross-pollination with the national. It's an opportunity to learn, to be inspired. I've enjoyed it every time I've attended, and it's really a good one for all the chapter chairs and other region leaders to attend.
Yeah, I highly encourage all the chapters, even committee members, they have opened it up to everyone. Everyone has input. If you're possibly able to go, I highly encourage it. I just add +1 to that. It's a great experience, and you really get to meet all the people and then have personal contacts to be able to reach out and talk to when you need something or have a question. In addition, Gloria helps us with all those things.
If there are no other questions, I did have a couple of questions. We have some region level committees, as you know. Membership is one, design professionals is one, and we have a couple of others. And if we have parallel committees at chapter levels, it would be great to have the chairs of those chapter level committees to be part of the regional committee, so that we're all, on the same page in terms of delivering the message, the consistent message, and also learning from each other. So similarly, the Owners Council, as Brian also mentioned, that it would be good for the consistency of the messaging to make sure that we're collaborating. If the chapters have Owners Council, we should all be collaborating to make sure that the message is clear and that we're not overlapping or that giving inconsistent messages. So legislative is another one. I've made a suggestion to our legislative chair to include chapter chairs from Hawaii, Nevada, and Arizona in the committee. We have several representation from California, so we don't need to have all the California chapter chairs be there, although you're welcome. But the other 3 states, I think it would be good to have representation. Similarly, if I can use this forum, Bailey, the Design Professionals Committee, which is a regional committee, is looking for representation from Nevada. We have representation from other states. So if you have someone that you can encourage to be part of that committee, we would really appreciate it. Design professionals, the definition is someone who is a design professional and signs contract documents, essentially. So it could be a practicing architect, engineer, etc., or it could be a trade partner who is in the role of the design capacity signing documents. I think we're trying to increase the architect members because we're kind of at a deficit region-wide in terms of architect participation. So that would be ideal, but it doesn't have to be. So if you have someone in your region who's interested, please let me know.
Yeah, maybe you could send me like a quick write-up of that committee, either Gloria or Samin, and then I can pass it by. I think we have a principal architect who may be interested in that.
Okay, sure. I'll do that. I'll put you in touch with David Crody, who's the chair of the Design Professionals Committee.
Excellent. So any more comments, Marianne?
No? I was just going to say, Samin, we also need to make the connection I said on the National Design Professionals Committee. So we'll connect it all the way from, the chapter to the region to the
Yes,
national.
Susan has started attending the meetings, our regional committee meetings.
Good. She actually chairs the national, so that's good. Yep.
Yeah, just make a comment on design professional, even though I'm not on any of those committees. From the owner point of view, the quality of scoping documents has always been questionable. So maybe you guys can bring it up in the design committees. Design professionals are taught how to prepare construction documents, but not scoping documents.
You're saying that we need to clarify that definition, or sorry, can you?
No, the quality of scoping documents.
Oh, the quality of the scoping documents.
Yeah, okay. I'm an architect by trade, so I can tell where something's good or bad.
Yes.
I'm glad for that feedback, Vince, because we can bring that up in Kansas City next week. It's
awful, I can tell you.
Okay,
the level, the I don't know if Brian felt the same way, but the quality of scoping document, because look, if I'm stamping the drawings, I'll pay a little bit more care. But since scoping architects, engineers, they don't stamp drawings. It's all over the place.
Okay, we'll make a strong point of that when we get to Kansas City, and we'll give you feedback on what we hear.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a couple more minutes if there's any other questions or comments. If not, we could. Oh, go ahead, Betty Lynn. You're on mute.
Sorry, there's piano going in the background. Our leadership class is really succeeding. We got a survey back with really great results. I just want to encourage everyone to get that flyer out to your folks that you know. We've got another 100 spots in the class coming up on April 17th. James Hawley is going to be our speaker for class number 3, and that'll be on June 18th. There's a one-day shift in that date, but anyway, encourage you to come.
Thank you, Betty Lynn. All right, with that, I'd like to thank everyone who joined the call today, and also welcome to the new board members and new chapter chairs. Welcome to the team, and thank you again, and have a great rest of your Friday, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Girish,
everyone,
for putting
for
this
your
together, Girish.
participation, and thank you,
Thanks,
Girish, for the great
everyone.
meeting.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye,
team. Have a
y'all.
great
Bye-bye.
weekend.
Talk to you all later.